Namaskaram. Today we will be discussing about the emergence of the Swaraj Party. See, as you can see, the Swaraj Party came up in the year, it has emerged in the year 1922. The primary purpose for the Swaraj Party was, the Indian National Congress was denied entry into the Central Legislative Assembly, that is, in the present day we are calling it by the name, the Parliament, right? So, protesting that particular thing, these people have demanded, Indians have the capability to enter into the Central Legislative Assembly, and they have the capacity to, legislate upon various subjects concerning the issues of the Indians, rather than the outsiders, that is the colonial government. So the primary purpose of this, the primary agenda of the Swaraj Party, and the members concerning the Swaraj Party were Motilal Nehru and some other prominent personalities at that point of time. These people, they have demanded they came up and protesting the despotic attitude of the British government at that point of time. And the agenda included these people have demanded Indians have the capacity to, they can, the primary agenda was cordial relations between the peasants and landlords, after that establishing good relations between the laborers and capitalists, and encouraging the native industries owned by Indians rather than the British capitalists. Okay, and keeping these things in mind, these people have had, sooner they have become pretty much popular in the Bengal and the central provinces. At that point of time, these Swaraj Party leaders, they have become pretty much popular, and they were pretty much successful in that regard. Okay, but they have proved, in a sense, Indians are capable of conducting the popular parliamentary legislations, and they were capable of enabling various kinds of legislative subjects, and they were popular in voicing out it's like the political, legislative, and political wing of the Congress Party at that point of time. They were pretty much successful in this regard. And one more thing, you got to understand is these people, they have tried to expose the various policies of the British in the Parliament. What kind of legislations are being enacted, and they have tried to keep them out in the open, and they were pretty much successful in that regard. Okay, rather than you should not be mistaken in the sense that these people were pretty much successful in the grassroots level, but they were, by and large, the people in the society, people in the country were able to understand the policies of the British, how they are thinking towards the Indian subjects. That is the most important contribution of this Swarajas. Okay, and at the grassroots level, Mr. Gandhi, he has emphasized the constructive work. The constructive work focused on the production of charkhas and doing various social activities, and encouraging the cottage industries which provide employment to the large scale masses at the large scale masses in India. Okay, so and politically, Swaraj Party constructive work at the grassroots level. Okay, in this way, the Congress has divided its main political wing at that point of time. Okay, and when the things were going on like that, they have come up with again, the British government, they wanted to test the successfulness of the Government of India Act 1919, that is the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, and they wanted to have a commission whether how far they were successful in implementing these reforms. So for that purpose, they have appointed a commission to look into the effectiveness of the Minto-Marley reforms, that is Government of India Act 1919, right? So for that purpose, they have appointed a commission headed by John Simon. Okay, popularly it was called the Simon Commission. Simon Commission 1927. Okay, so the primary purpose was to check the effectiveness of the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. Okay, so what they have, across the, people have criticized pretty much on this Simon Commission because the reason is there is no Indian in that commission. Okay, when there is no Indian in that kind of commission, then obviously they will not be able to understand the local problems. Okay, the foreigner, those who come to visit India, they will be having, having some kind of indifferent attitude towards the problems of Indians. Okay, so obviously you can't expect any positive results in this regard. Okay, so for that purpose, across the country, people have come up with the processions and the slogans such as "Go back, Simon, Simon, go back" across the country. Okay, and some of the, for example, the Telugu people in the Madras presidency, it was headed by the slogans, and this kind of movement was in the forefront. It was led by Rankuri Prakasham Pantulu. For that, he has, he was at the forefront, and he vehemently, vociferously, raised the slogans against the British government when they have thrown the gun to him, and he openly tore his shirt, and he has displayed some kind of machismo at that point of time, right? So for that purpose, he gained the title from the across the citizens, of that at that point of time. People have called him Andhra Kesari. That means Kesari means lion. So the lion of Andhra, he has gained that for displaying such immense courage at that point of time. Okay, so people in the AP history are trying to highlight the importance of this kind of Simon Commission processions, anti-Simon Commission slogans. Okay, so let us try to understand what are the recommendations of this Simon Commission. What is the conclusion they have demanded? So they have, the Simon Commission has recommended more autonomy to the Indians in legislations and in governing themselves. So this was one of the important. So giving more autonomy to Indians in the governance process. and the most of the time it was pretty much the anti reports, everything has contributed in a sense, and Britishers has somewhat realized the importance of bringing out some more reforms in the period of time. Okay, and these people have recognized in that sense. Okay, and one more important thing you guys can understand is they have called for formation of British Federation with the states and the provinces. They wanted some kind of British Federation in the India. You know what is, if at all you are familiar with the functioning of the how a federation functions. Okay, central government will be there, that is the federal government will be there. The states will have the equal rights to in the legislative processes. Okay, whatever the subjects that are going to implement the provinces or the states, definitely these people are not going to be simply they are not going to act blindly according to the whims and fancies of the federal government or the central government. Okay, so it has called for the British Federation, not to such as not to undermine the interests of the provinces. Okay, that they have recognized in this regard, and they wanted to increase the membership of the Indians with respect to this. They wanted to increase the membership of the Indians in the Central Legislative Assembly. Okay, so this is one more important thing, enhancing the membership of Indians in the legislature. Okay, so that is one more thing, and they wanted to control the administrative control of the Union government over the high courts and everything. So, if at all you observe the constitution which we are currently, having is having some kind of similar kind of structure and similar kind of elements. Okay, so in history, one important thing you guys need to remember is there is no abrupt beginning and there is no abrupt ending. There is always a continuation of the process. Okay, with some minor modifications over a period of time. Depends if at all the situation demands some kind of extra to meet the needs of the society by and large. Definitely they will be making such kind of necessary amendments depending upon the time and the need. Okay, that you need to remember. There is no abrupt ending and there is no abrupt beginning. Okay, there is always a continuation. There is always one kind of precedent which will be set forward. Okay, yesterday we have discussed what is the change of Mr. Gandhi's behavior. When compared to the non-cooperation movement and the Quit India movement, he has behaved like the regular politician. But that was the kind of behavior which was needed at the period of when we were nearing the period of independence. We are not here to criticize Mr. Gandhi and his method of approach. We are not, we cannot simply say that he is, he's like a dishonest politician in the current scenario. Okay, that we can say. But at that point of time, it was needed. But unfortunately, it has set a precedent to the current politicians, and they are coming up with such kind of. That does not mean that all the politicians in the country are crooks. Okay, so there are some committed people and committed NGOs which are currently playing an active role. That we must keep in mind before coming to any kind of conclusions. The democratic processes are going on. The resistance and the kind of outcome. Okay, they are trying to strike a balance here. Clear? That's all for today.